Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, aka the worst show on the internet. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Uncle Reed right here, and then on the ones and twos, we got Big Slack Barrett. But today's show is going to be the official FloGrappling Awards Nominees show, all right? Today we're going to break down a lot of the nominees, give some honors to some of the grapplers and matches, submissions that have transpired this year and kind of, made 2024 one of the most epic years in grappling history. What do you think overall, Reed, about not just the nominees, but this year in grappling? It was kind of a wild one, huh?
Yeah, for real. So if anybody doesn't know, we got the 2024 FloGrappling Awards up on FloGrappling.com, so check those out and cast your vote for your favorite grapplers, favorite moments, favorite submissions, and things like that. But yeah, crazy year, big year, of course, in grappling. It seems like they just keep getting bigger and bigger. A lot of fun things happened, to be honest. Adele Fornerino had a huge year. Mika Galvao had a huge year. Tons of stuff, obviously. Crazy year. And so, yeah, definitely jump into FloGrappling.com and cast your vote. I know I did. Trey did.
For sure.
Slack.
You vote, Slack?
Yep.
Cast your votes.
Should we give out I voted stickers to people?
Yeah.
That would honestly be kind of epic. Like when you submit the form, you auto get an email with a FloGrappling I voted
that you can print out and
yep, and then wear on your shirt to your open mat.
Yeah.
Make sure and wear your I voted stickers to your local open mat to let everybody know that you voted in the FloGrappling Awards. But yeah, so we have 5 categories, right? Male Grappler of the Year, Female Grappler of the Year, Breakthrough Grappler of the Year, Submission of the Year, and Match of the Year. Male and Female Grappler, obviously, I feel like that's a pretty obvious one. That's kind of the person who is kind of the clear-cut biggest star of that year. The most accolades, won the biggest events in the best fashion, I would say is like the loose criteria for that one. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like there's no exact criteria, right? It's just kind of whoever you think, whoever you're voting for had the most impressive year, whoever had the most submissions or best matches or whatever it is. But, we tried to boil these down as best we can, of course. There's 6 to 8 nominees, I believe, is what we did this year for everything. And man, it's tough when you go back and try to really dive in and look at every match and try to look at every tournament and every, of course, there's stuff that, it's hard to remember everything, but we did our best, of course, this year and tried to narrow everything down to some of the best, biggest things that happened this year as much as we could. So yeah, all the nominees are out there. I'm sure we'll be talking a little bit more in depth about the nominees and everybody. But
once you get going on these lists, we kind of create this long list. I guess to give a peek behind the curtain, we create these long lists of all the potential people and matches, submissions that could potentially be nominated and have a claim. And then it's like once you start trying to narrow it down, it's just like an endless devil's advocate practice of just being like, well, actually, I mean, this guy this is the reason why he should be, and this is the reason why she should be on the list, and it kind of goes on forever. So of course, everyone has an argument and a thing they could make for their favorite grappler for sure.
Me and Trey, Trey and Slack, we're button heads quite a bit.
Yep.
Of course,
old Joey Gilps too was in the mix.
Yep. But specifically, me and Trey, we're bumping heads quite a bit.
Who are we bumping heads about?
I'm just kidding. No.
Who are we bumping heads about? Let's settle it right here on air. I think. How did you feel after that Nicky Ryan podcast? To kind of take a step back for a second. If you guys didn't listen, we had Nicky Ryan on last episode. Go check that one out. We tried multiple versions of nicotine. I saw a commenter called us a bozo for spending 10 minutes on nicotine.
Who'd they call a bozo?
Yeah,
Not me.
Yeah. No,
they called me specifically a bozo?
They were like, there's two little bozos and then one big bozo. And I don't know if they were talking about me, you, Nicky Ryan. I don't know. But
that's whack.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe it.
Honestly, I had to go home and just sit in a chair for a little while and stare into the darkness.
Well, dude, I feel like we're going to have to get Nicky Ryan back on the pod here soon enough because we got some new ones.
True. That's true. Hey, Nicky Ryan, if you're watching, we got some new shit, brother. Hit us up. We got some new stuff, all right? PJ Barch actually put us on a while back, so we got some new stuff.
Good Christmas stuff. But,
I'm just kidding. We're off of that stuff. We're not 2025. We're not doing that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Slack, did you check out the Nicky Ryan podcast?
I'm actually still catching up on that one. Thanks for putting me on the spot.
Sorry, bro. I thought you said. No,
I was out sick. I've been like a little
dang, dude. If your boys won't support you, who will?
I thought you hit us up in the chat and said you watched the podcast.
I watched the one before that, so I'm still catching up. I have one to catch up on.
Okay. Too much content, baby. What can we say?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot catching up, watching all these supercuts. By the way, shout out to all these supercuts.
Yep, a lot of supercuts right now, obviously pertaining to a lot of the nominees. So there's a lot of good, like if you like that long form type of stuff on the YouTube, on FloGrappling.com, there's a lot of, the Adam Wardzinski's golden year, stuff like that. Adele Fornerino's year. Basically everybody. Owen Jones has a sick one. Owen Jones is really fun to watch.
And that is something I want to say too, just like about the awards that I feel like is fun, is like, of course, this is about giving the dues to the people who win the awards, but also just like props to the nominees, and then like go dig into the supercuts, go watch like the years that everybody's had, and also like just go dig into some jiu-jitsu. Like we've had such a crazy year, so even outside of the nominees, just like there's so much great jiu-jitsu to be watching from 2024.
For sure.
This is like the little bit of a downtime in jiu-jitsu going on right now. Right now, a lot of competitions happening. Everybody going to the open mats and eating a little bit too much Christmas dinner and kind of going to the open mats and chilling and talking about it with everybody on the mats and everything like that. So this is exactly what the end of the year is for. Is just kind of watching all the crazy jiu-jitsu that happened that you might have missed or whatever, and chopping it up with the crew on the mats afterwards. That's one of the funnest parts about jiu-jitsu. So
for sure. You guys want a white belt update real quick before we...
A white belt update?
For
a little white belt corner?
For my brother's white belt corner. So my brother watched the Nicky Ryan podcast, and he said he really liked what Nicky said.
Shout out to Trey's brother for watching the podcast.
Yep, my brother Zach watching the podcast. He just won AGF Tulsa Nationals Master 2 white belt. Let's give it up.
Clapping it up. We clapping it up.
Yeah.
Clapping it up.
But he said he watched the Nicky Ryan one. He said, I really liked what Nicky said about, not focusing on other people's matches and watching a lot of other matches, but just really watching your own and learning that way. And I said,
we got a match to watch?
I said, hey, bro, no. I told him I wasn't going to watch it, but he said, thank God. But I told him, I was like, hey, bro, Nicky Ryan knows a little bit more jiu-jitsu. You might want to watch some other people for now. Maybe until you get your blue belt or purple or something. You might want to watch some other jiu-jitsu and just kind of learn what good jiu-jitsu looks like before you pull it back and start watching your own. So I don't know.
That advice is for purple belts and up.
Yeah, probably honestly for world-class black belts and up. Like everyone else should probably be watching instructionals, watching what jiu-jitsu is supposed to look like. I don't know if I'm always putting it on display like, maybe it's supposed to look like, but yeah, so there's a little update in the white belt corner, but
I don't know. I feel like I like always get a little depressed watching myself roll, to be honest.
Doesn't
I'm
look,
like, oh man.
Yeah.
I felt that knee cut was like lightning fast, but
yeah, doesn't look
so
quite as cool. Doesn't look quite as cool as I think it does whenever I'm playing it in my head during the roll.
Even the submission. I remember one time I filmed a roll and watched back a submission. I felt really good about it. It was really exhilarating. When I watched it, I was like, it's pretty lame.
Yeah.
I don't even want to show this to my non-jiu-jitsu friend or whatever.
100%,
you should have saw that submission coming a mile away. I was telegraphing it
Yeah. No, that's like the part of jiu-jitsu where even when you're in a super boring match, like on any level, to you it doesn't seem that boring. You're fighting a lot of battles in your head and right there, but doesn't quite translate.
Well, and
to
that's also one of the differences. Like we were talking about training, doing these Fix My Games. There's just such a different sensation to the jiu-jitsu that's being done by someone like we just released our last Fix My Game of the Year, PJ Barch, and I just remember the second he grabbed my wrist, I was like, oh, this is going light speed. Like this is just a completely different pace of jiu-jitsu.
Meanwhile, he's like, all right, I guess
and to him, he's like, I guess I'm just going to take this lousy overhook.
Are you sure you want to give me this? He's asking you while he's taking it.
He's probably confused by my hobbyist jiu-jitsu pace. Of like, oh, that's right. This feels like jello.
Luckily, we aren't going to bore you guys with any bad jiu-jitsu. We're just going to watch some sick jiu-jitsu.
The best jiu-jitsu.
Should we pull up the subs? I got the submission.
Let's jump in with the submission of the year list. Okay, and so this one, the submission one is tough because there are obviously so many submissions, so many great submissions. But one thing I like about the submissions at the end of the year is a lot of times we try to drop like the 22 best submissions of 2022 or this year will be the 24 best submissions of 2024. So go down in the comments, leave us a bunch of comments with all of your favorite submissions from this year so we can try and help include a lot of those into this bigger video we'll drop of like the 24 best submissions. So go down in the YouTube comments if you're watching on YouTube right now, drop us a comment. Go ahead and like and subscribe while you're there too. We're trying to bump those numbers up. But let's jump into you want to watch first just the overall video to show our nominees?
And we try to take into account, kind of like the magnitude of the moment that the submission was hit, the kind of virality of the submission, like the caliber of opponent that the submission's hit on, and all sorts of things like that. When it gets down to it,
hitting like the sickest, flashiest, craziest submission at the AGF Nationals isn't quite as big of a deal as hitting a more traditional submission at ADCC Worlds in the absolute. So that's kind of, it changes the aspect a little bit, who you're doing it against, all that. So let's dive into our nominees for this year's submission of the year.
Bunch of good ones anyway.
Oh, yeah. Kicking off with Fabricio Andre's flying armbar at Trials. I mean, this was just one of the sickest, flashiest, most viral submissions we had this year.
Dante's ankle lock here on Mika Galvao. That was a huge one.
Yep.
Big moment.
Adele's mirror lock. I mean, Adele just kind of took over this year.
And the way she
honest.
sinks down like
oh
that.
My God, so brutal.
You guys been hitting mirror locks?
No.
Hindulatine here. This is just a crazy one at Aiga. This is kind of the Benetti only.
One man can do it,
Yeah. Achilles Rocha, the record-setting fastest WNO submission. And then Gustavo Batista, straight ankle on Jansen in the World's Finals. That was pretty crazy.
That was a big one. That definitely was a big one. It was Jansen's time. It was Jansen's moment, and Gustavo, really took that from him. So that was a huge one too.
Yeah, dude. As far as like one of the biggest kind of moment-stealing submissions of the year, I do think it was Gustavo Batista because it was just like Jansen was in both finals, weight class and the absolute. It was like, oh my goodness, is Checkmack getting there? Absolute champion back, haven't had one since Buchecha. So it's kind of like Buchecha would always say that, like Jansen, he's the next dude and all that. And then Gustavo kind of put that to bed.
Spoiled the party.
Jansen couldn't even compete in the absolute. But yeah, some super sick ones. Let's rewatch this Fabricio one, the flying armbar.
Back and full here.
You guys were at this one, right?
Yeah, this was a crazy event. This was the second South American trials. Definitely a different vibe whenever you're watching competitions in Brazil. But yeah, just did this little step
shirt
over.
Off.
Yeah, shirt off. Watch this. He goes nuts here. Tells him to brush his teeth. He's got toothpaste in his hand. Felipe Machado to brush his teeth. Shout out to the stinky breath guy at the gym. Fabricio's trying to put a stop to that. And then keep it going. This is one of my favorite parts at the end
pop
here.
The top.
He gives him his shirt, or I don't know if he takes it. He gives it. He takes Felipe Machado's shirt and then just launches it into the crowd. I don't know what the plan here was, but he just throws Felipe Machado. I don't know if they were doing like a jersey swap or what, but
no, he held
Fabricio's like.
his.
Yeah, he just launches his shirt.
And that was the final, right?
Yeah, no, that wasn't the final.
Was it semi?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He ended up fighting Kawhi Gabriel in the final.
That's right, semi-final.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the biggest submission probably at that South American trials. That was one of the most badass moments.
Definitely. So, super unreal one from Fabricio. Fabricio's just a guy that, that dude could be on the submission of the year list every year till eternity, to be honest. Just always has crazy ones.
Yeah.
But what else we got? The Dante Mika one. This one was nuts because obviously the weight class didn't go Dante's way at ADCC. 77 kilos, he ended up losing to Elijah Dorsey, first round?
First round.
First round. And then he came back, obviously had something to prove in the absolute. And now he's going against Mika Galvao, the current 77 kilogram champion. So this is after Mika's won the division. So kind of a huge redemption here.
Submitted Wagner in the finals. Mika had an incredible run. It was kind of, this was looking like Mika's day as well. And but Dante had been gunning for this Mika match for a while, and he really wanted this one. So
This is his third match against Mika, right? He had
Yeah.
2 on WNO, or
right.
1 on WNO, 1 on...
ADCC, right? He had the
right.
controversial one at ADCC 2022.
Where the score got reset, right?
Yeah. True.
Yep. So 2 very close, a little bit controversial. Both of them are controversial matches. You know, Dante kind of proved that he's right there with Mika Galvao, and Mika got the edge in both of the earlier matches. So you could tell that Dante had a little bit of a bad taste in his mouth for this match.
I mean, what a way to settle a... I don't know if they settled a beef, to be honest, but like to get one back in the win category by getting the submission.
Yeah, who
In some
knows?
ways, I feel like it's really on now. You know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and it's like, who knows what's going to happen in 2025? There's so many, new promotions and things like that going on. So hopefully we see this match again. But
Crazy.
Submit with a
Crazy.
straight ankle. Just got the Pedigo boys going crazy in the corner over there. That was a pretty insane moment.
they're just looking for excuses to go crazy.
Definitely.
And if
Dante
you
gave him the
missed
best
this,
one.
if you missed this match, definitely go back and check out the podcast episode with Heath, because Heath did like a serious deep dive on
Yeah.
this match, which was really cool. And we just broke it down step by step, everything that was going through Dante's head with the strategy for that. Very, very interesting. So go check that out.
Yeah, we talk about it in that podcast with Heath. Heath does an incredible breakdown of it, but I think obviously people probably put Mateusz Szczecinski as the number one deadliest straight ankle right now. I think the Pedigo dude's underrated straight ankle. I feel like they get a lot of credibility, but still, even with the credibility they get, like Heath Pedigo is still undervalued at how good he is at the straight ankle and how good he can teach all of his guys to be at the straight ankle. These dudes just have an insanely nasty straight ankle. So
I feel like ever since we basically have met Heath Pedigo,
Yeah.
Years and years ago, he's been showing us ankle lock details and stuff like
sure.
that. Like from the very, very beginning. Obviously, Jacob Couch has one of the best straight ankles in the game. He won ADCC trials with it. So those guys, have a brutal straight ankle. If you're out there training in the Pedigo, watch out for the straight ankle.
dude, I remember the first time I trained in the laundromat and like Heath was showing maybe like a triangle or something was like the focus of the class. But then he was like, no, Trey, come over here. Let me show you some details on the straight ankle. And he started showing me how to finish a straight ankle. And dude, I felt like my ankle was going to break. Like multiple times I was just like, yep. No, that's good, Heath. That's good. That's good. And he's like, no, I'm not. I haven't finished it yet. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't think you had either. It's just like the whole time. As soon as he like gets
I know you haven't finished it yet. Please stop.
yeah, it's like as soon as he got the control on the ankle, I was like, oh my God, dude, like my ankle is going to explode. So definitely.
So it was a big year for straight ankles, to be honest. The straight ankle meta, I feel like it's kind of coming back. And, you had Nicky Ryan hit a straight ankle against JT Torres at Who's Number One. You had Gabby Pisania hitting straight ankles in the absolute finals of Nogi Worlds. So big year for the straight ankle lock. I hope you guys are hitting it out there.
A lot of straight ankles at like trials and stuff, right? Couch finish, isn't that how he got Elder in the final, A lot of people kind of
And J-Rod,
switching back to it. Everybody's getting good at defending heel hooks, so, just go straight back to the straight ankle. And so, super sick there. What do we got next? The mirror lock.
Yeah.
I've been trying mirror locks.
Oh, that was a cool
Unsuccessfully.
shot.
Unsuccessfully, but I've been trying them.
Mirror locks. This is a brutal one. Rotolo's hit this one too, I remember.
Oof.
From close guard. Nothing cooler than getting a submission from close guard.
And this is the semifinal, right?
This is the final.
This is the final.
Yep. This is the weight class final.
Weight class final.
You know what's interesting? I just saw on Instagram this morning somebody pointed out, which I didn't really notice this about the mirror lock, was showing all the old school Helio Gracie self-defense. This is like Gracie self-defense 101. This is the
1000%.
first thing that they teach you.
Whoa.
Somebody places their hand, all respect you. Somebody nicely places their hand on your shoulder and that swim underneath, right over the top, pull, go like this, and then, the guy taps on his thing. That's like Helio Gracie 101. And then they cross-cut it with this, and I was like, oh, yeah. Straight up. It's a
Pretty
close
sick,
guard
yeah.
Helio Gracie self-defense move.
I remember, I think it was John Jones hit the mirror lock, maybe on Vitor Belfort or Lyoto Machida. I forget exactly who, but I remember when it happened, everybody was kind of saying it was like a cheap move because he really furiously hit it on somebody, just in the clinch or something like that against the cage. And you could tell it really kind of messed him up, but it didn't finish the fight or anything like that. But I remember John Jones back in the day hitting that mirror lock. So It works.
Yeah.
It's been around.
That's sick. That reminds me of like the Big O, Sean Strickland thing. I guess that wasn't really a mirror lock, but kind of.
No, that was that was pretty much a mirror
Would it
lock.
be considered a mirror lock still? Just kind of like, because he just did the overhook and just like.
Yeah, he just like kind of like caught the elbow fast, and Sean flipped out. That's right.
Yeah, Sean freaked out.
I forgot about that one.
Classic. At the Ruka training facility.
R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P. dude. It's all about Tenori now.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? The Hindulatine.
And Dilotine time.
This is one we had to include, man. It's just like
It's just nuts.
He's out there. You know, people know about this one. Know that you have to look out for it with Ben Eddy too. He's the guy who does this, and he's still out there able to hit it in elite competitions against, elite competitors.
It's also just cool to see like a specialist, because like I visited Ben training for this tournament, and he said when I interviewed him, he was like, I want to play rubber guard at the highest level in competition. Like specifically that was his goal. And so to see him go out there and just like pick his shots, just like as a specialist like this, and still do it at the highest level was really cool. Also shout out to him. Like if you haven't trained with somebody who's really good at rubber guard, you might see this and just think like, I don't really get what's going on, or this seems like a gimmick or whatever. Like it's very real. The threat of the rubber guard, if you don't have any type of answer or strategy to deal with it and someone knows how to play it, it's just like getting sucked into a black hole. Like everything that you think you should do in someone's guard to try to pass becomes the wrong answer, and you just get jacked up like left and right. Like training with him, he was just probably warming up on me, hitting, going through the motions of like every type of little rubber guard path he might do. And I just like, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Furiously trying to get out.
Did he Hindulatine you?
Yeah. No, it
Really?
just over and over again, every different like variation that he probably felt like using. It was just like as soon as the guard closes, you are just like in a Venus flytrap. It's crazy.
You spent obviously a lot of time training with Gio out at 10th Planet Oceanside and stuff. A lot of rubber guard, a lot of Hindulatine action going down there? Or?
So the rubber guard that Gio teaches is like, I don't want to call it basic, but it's a little more of like a foundation. Like I feel like it's a great intro to rubber guard. Like he'll play kind of the classic like Kimura based rubber guard moves, the Carney and stuff like this. But it's really Boogie who like plays rubber guard like as a part of his like main game. So I think like if you train down there at San Diego, you're probably going to get a lot more of that stuff. But there's always like in any 10th Planet gym, there's the guys who are studying up on that stuff probably regardless of how much the teacher is teaching it, just because it like fits their skills, I guess, if you're really flexible and all that. But
Can we watch the Hindulatine there just one more time?
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
super sick. I love how like when he goes over the top of the foot, like you just know he's looking for it.
Well, in here too, it's like I don't really play rubber guard, but this like general high guard position is just a really good place to start playing even like traditional guard from, like to keep someone's posture down. Like even if you are going to go back to like a butterfly or something like that.
Yeah, especially like the defense to the guillotine, right? It's like get the hell out of there, but the foot's over the top. Like, that looks like such good control right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. It's like if you get into this position, you are not posturing up.
Yeah.
Period.
And that's like the original idea behind rubber guard, right? Is
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo created as like a control position for MMA.
Yeah.
He tries to stand up. He tries.
It's so nice.
You're just stuck.
And he's like, all right, maybe I should sprawl.
Yeah. Well, and what was cool about this that was such a big deal is this was actually the last match of AIGA of this U.S. qualifiers, and 10th Planet was already out. They were basically passed by
Checkmat secured the
like
win.
2 or 3 matches earlier for them to win. So it was sort of like we're trying to, but what are we fighting for type of thing.
Yeah.
And Ben Eddy's submission there actually won them qualification into the final. So they will be
just because it was so hype.
just because it was such a huge moment and like the whole place went crazy and it was just like a great just like energy for the for the day, for the competition. So
AIGA kind of just they went ahead and gave them one of the open invites. Yeah, super sick. Those are all the we got
those are some of
Achilles.
them.
Yeah, some of them. This is the Achilles one right here.
Yep.
W25.
Over Wagner's shoulder.
I mean, this is just Achilles being a madman, finding the submission in any position.
Fastest submission in Who's Number One history. It's hard to leave this one off the list.
Yeah.
Achilles had a huge year though too, man. Like what a big year for Achilles. Like that dude's got kind of black belt world champion written all over him these days.
Back it up to the
What a treat in 2025.
The reflexes here on the butterfly, just boop.
Yeah. We're going to now see Achilles Rocha competing black belt. Like, that's going to be sick, dude.
He got his black belt at Nogi Worlds?
He double gold Nogi Pans brown belt, and then won Nogi Worlds in his division. And he was kind of having a rough day, I guess. So they decided just to go ahead and promote him after the weight division. He didn't do the absolute, but won Nogi Worlds, brown belt gold, got his black belt. So now 2025, we're going to see black belt Achilles Rocha. Bunch of crazy matches potentially for him.
Well, I heard the brown belt Nogi absolute was a wild one anyway. So maybe it was good that he stayed away from it.
Yeah, I guess so. Pavel Javorsky ended up getting the dub. Yeah. Some people got banned for a year. Yeah. Sebastian Attard ended up taking a year suspension. Honestly, obviously it's not ideal to get banned, not to do something to get yourself banned either. Sebastian Attard taking full advantage of the situation. I keep seeing his reels popping up now. He's leaning into it, posting all these videos and stuff. Sebastian Attard's a wild dude, to be honest. I just keep seeing these reels of him back in Australia now, just making content about getting banned. So I don't know. I guess silver linings.
Got to lean into it. Yeah.
He had a tough match with Achilles, didn't he?
In the division?
In their division, yeah. And
I guess he did.
They were kind of calling for a rematch. We should run this back.
Run it back on WNO, maybe.
Yeah, they had a tough match.
But
all right, last one of the nominees here.
To Gustavo Batista straight ankle, IBJJF Worlds.
A lot of great Nogi action this year, of course, but can't forget about the gi. There's still some crazy jiu-jitsu in the gi. And yeah, we talked about this one a minute ago. Just this was just such a big moment for Jansen and everything like that. But Gustavo, man, he's always there. It's he's always going to be there. And he had an incredible knee bar on Isaac Bahien's there right before this, so he was feeling it as well.
Definitely coming out hunting some subs. The place was going nuts for Jansen the whole time, but Gustavo, best in the world.
And that, like you said, that took Jansen out of the absolute final, so that one was on. Mm-hmm. That one was brutal.
You guys got a favorite off the list? Something you're kind of maybe leaning towards a little bit?
Man, it's I don't know. I guess I'll go. But that Gustavo one, the more I see it, is the more I'm just man, that was an underrated submission. But I've been talking up the mirror lock on that Adele did there for a while, so I feel like that one's probably my favorite. But there's a couple closed guard submissions in here, so
yeah,
I did like that Adele one, man. That one's dirty, especially on Bia Basilio, who we all know is a gamer and is one of the toughest girls out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Adele one probably might, slightly edge out as my favorite as well, just because for one, it being a mirror lock too, a submission that you don't always see and stuff, and then being in the ADCC Worlds Finals, just so much weight on that submission, but definitely a sick one there.
Suck.
I'm gonna go Hindulo teen just because I'll wave the 10p flag for a minute, but it was just cool to see. I feel connected to that one just because I was there to see the preparation for the tournament, and then I was there for the tournament, and just the moment of that being the one that got them into the finals, and now we'll see him at AIGA this year. It was just cool. Very unique.
Definitely.
But Dante's a close one there too. It's Mika really did maybe have one of the best years in jiu-jitsu history. And Dante kind of put a stop to it, basically. He'd won Euros, had won Pans, had won Worlds, had won Brasileiros, had just won ADCC. Just nobody was even coming close, it looked like, really, to beating Mika. And for Dante to go out and do it in 2 minutes was just damn, that is impressive. That is incredible.
Definitely. So a lot of cool submissions on there. Obviously, a lot more great submissions that happened this year. So that's why I said, drop us some comments with some of your favorite submissions throughout the year. But I feel all of these kind of warranted being on this list. But let's jump into, let's just look. We don't have to go full breakdown through all of it, but let's just look at the male grappler of the year nominees real quick, and then we can go female grapplers, and then jump back into match of the year. How's that sound?
Cool.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
All right.
So male grappler of the year, it was an especially hard one to kind of narrow down just because so many people had incredible years. A lot of different promotions out there these days, and a lot of people winning big matches, all over the place. So tried our best to kind of, narrow down the top 8 male grapplers of the year. Of course, I think there's even probably a couple more that had great years, but these are what we thought was the top 8 anyway.
For sure.
You can go ahead and pull this up, Nikki. I got it up here now.
All right, here we go. Male grappler of the year. Obviously, Kainan Duarte's got to be on this list. 7 of 8 submissions at ADCC Worlds. Some WNO wins in there. Diego Pato, the double champ at WNO, the Crown, Worlds. Just a beast all around. Cade Ruotolo, just kind of doing his thing in one, obviously. CJI, killing it.
$1 million champ there.
Yep. Mika Galvao, like you said, Super Grand Slam, won all of the IBJJF majors, topped it off with ADCC Worlds Gold. Dante Leon, like how do you not leave off the dude who submitted the guy who won the Super Grand Slam?
Sure, yeah.
Gordon Ryan, of course, coming out, winning 2 super fights at ADCC is an incredible thing.
And the Josh Saunders match there on who's number 1.
Adam Wardzinski having the best year of his career, winning Worlds, the Crown. Maybe some more in there. Nicky Rod, the $1 million grappler, of course. Incredible all year. There it is.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Yeah. Bunch of good guys, for sure. Bunch of dudes who are good at
bunch of the best guys
really
there are.
really good at jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So there's a lot of accolades amongst all of those dudes for sure. Like, obviously, if you just go sheer, like, what events did you win? Mika winning the Super Grand Slam is like, it's only one other person done it, right? Cobrinha? Has there been more than just Cobrinha? Or
no, I think I'm pretty sure it's just Cobrinha, right?
Just Cobrinha.
Yeah.
And I think that would make Mika now the youngest to ever do it. So Cobrinha's did it, obviously. Mika did it now, the youngest ever to do that. So incredible stuff. But yeah, of course, I mean, there's some guys who just, I feel like have went a different route in their career, like Cade Ruotolo being an example, just doing only like major super fights, major kind of events, like a little more, not every single event, but just still holding that top spot the whole way through, definitely. But yeah, a lot of incredible grapplers there.
Yeah,
They did have some funny moments this year, though. Not funny, but just like it was interesting to watch. I was there for his 2 IBJJF endeavors this year, which is kind of easy to forget about at this point in the year. But he did come out and he competed in the gi, the IBJJF Grand Prix, won his first gi black belt debut, if you will. And then we saw him at the IBJJF Dallas Open, which was really fun. He came out and I forget, I think his whole weight division was like one match, and then that person no-showed. So he gets a medal for that, gets some points, and then he went into the absolute. But it was cool to see him still, like, he was making a lot of noise at the beginning of the year of, I'm going to do Worlds. After a couple of competitions in the gi, didn't seem like he was going to do Worlds. I think maybe he kind of got over it, to be honest. But I'd be curious to ask him about it. But you could tell, like, we were watching his matches, like, he seemed maybe a little frustrated by the gi, the same way that like you would expect from somebody who's like mostly only training no gi. They put the gi back on and they start feeling like, this is annoying. I want to do something and you're not letting me, type of thing. So,
well, hopefully Worlds is better with the Ruotolo brothers.
For sure.
So, please, Ruotolos.
Yeah, return to the pyramid.
For the love of the game, dude.
I know you got to get those points, Cade, but like, Ty, you're in already. I'm just a world champion. So, please come do Worlds. That show would be amazing to see the Ruotolo brothers, both of them at black belt, competing in the pyramid.
Just in the gi too. Like we've obviously been blessed with so much incredible Ruotolo jiu-jitsu this year. Everybody doing the Ruotolo team, from the back and stuff like that. They're definitely influencing the no gi. People are stepping on my legs left and right these days, doing their style of
passing.
Yeah, they're doing their leg pin passing and everything. So it's like you can see the influence on jiu-jitsu that the Ruotolos have in the gym every day, basically. And it's a lot of no-gi stuff, so I would love to see them come back into the gi and just grace us with their incredible jiu-jitsu and the incredible kind of, different style of jiu-jitsu that they have in the gi. Of course, they grew up in the gi, so it's like, they may have gotten a little frustrated, but these guys are world class and can bring some crazy shit to the table. So hopefully we have not seen the last of the Ruotolo brothers in the gi. Hopefully we see them at Worlds or somewhere wearing the gi because it would be a travesty not to see them again.
Imagine how like deep and like into the nogi game they are now, you know, and all the stuff they innovate, the new game they bring. Imagine them coming into the gi scene and innovating like the gi game like that, the new submissions that would pop up from the Ruotolos, the new stuff they would do. Like that would be so sick, dude. It would flip the gi game on its head if these dudes were like, I'm all in. We're going to get the Grand Slam, you know, something crazy like that. But a guy can wish.
Yeah.
A jiu-jitsu fan could wish.
I like that Mika has, you know, kind of popularized the Grand Slam again, you know, and you know, Gabby did it. What she did it last year, or at least without.
Like she's done it like an infinite amount of times at this point. I don't know.
without the ADCC medal on the end there, but I like that he's kind of popularizing it. Hopefully, more people do that as well. But you do got to mention as well, just like Kynan Duarte. I think we got to talk about Kynan, just because you know, he really did have one of the greatest, if not the greatest, or one, I guess I would say one of the greatest, you know, runs in ADCC history. Of course,
like arguably like the second best ever. Like Hodger, obviously the all submissions double gold, and then like Kynan Duarte 7 of 8 submissions double gold.
The one guy he didn't submit, the legend Dante Leon.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
The legend, you know, Dante
got him on points.
Roger still owes Dante brunch or something.
Yeah, some beans and toast or something out there in the UK. Shout out our UK audience.
Some tea time or whatever they do over there.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just keep it rolling. Going into the female grapplers of the year list. It's kind of tough sitting here talking about all these things because, like, man, what do you say? It's like I feel like everyone knows at this point why these people are on the list. Like Adele Fornerino, one of the best years in grappling ever, honestly, like completely took over the scene. Gabby Pisania just stayed on top, made her Nogi debut and double gold at Nogi Worlds. Fionn still just holding it down as arguably the top 1-2 pound for pound female grapplers in the world. Liz Clay coming back after having her baby, you know, had to put her baby in there because that was kind of like a major part of her story. Anna Carolina winning trials, winning ADCC Worlds.
Taking out Helena Kravar, who's kind of like the it girl, I feel like.
Yep. Maisa Bastos, she's like the Gabby Pisania of the lightweight girls, you know, the rooster weights, just always dominant. Brianna St. Marie ended her year, you know, in incredible fashion, winning Nogi Worlds by submission, winning the crown. And then Helena Kravar, just ADCC silver medalist, dominating on WNO, just, you know, kind of maintaining also her spot as one of the best females pound for pound in the sport today. So a lot of super warranted female grapplers out there. A lot of female grapplers that are really, I feel like all these ladies pushing female grappling to kind of new heights and stuff as well, you know? So
yeah, it's like you look at all 8 of those girls, like all 8 kind of have like a little bit different lane, a little bit different slice of the pie, I guess, you know? And, you know, I don't know, just seeing all of them, they kind of have all different stories, from Helena's story to Fionn's story to Adele's story. Like they all are very deserving, but kind of have a very different lane from each other. Just an incredible year for all those girls. You know, it's hard to kind of really argue with Adele, I feel like. Adele just had such a big year for her, you know, and of course the double gold at ADCC really capped it off, and, you know, the Who's Number One title and everything like that. But all of those girls, you know, you got to love Liz Clay's story, like you said, coming back from giving birth to her daughter, sorry?
A son.
A son,
Yeah.
sorry.
I think it's Danilo Jr.
That's right. So giving birth to her son, coming back and winning. Was that Nogi Pans that she won?
She won Nogi Pans, and then she won Nogi Worlds as well in her weight division.
There you go. So obviously, you know, a huge feather in their cap. I didn't see Kynan doing that. I didn't see Mika.
None of these dudes giving birth and then coming back just months later and winning anything, dude. So.
And then Fionn, you know, I feel like Fionn, he really, you know, kind of still wears that crown of you know, the best female grappler out there. You know, she didn't have the most active year, but of course she had a big win on CJI and a few others in there. And it's like, kind of like, until you take the crown from Fionn, she kind of owns it, to be honest. So.
For sure, yeah. No, that's we kind of mentioned that with the males too, but it's like some of these female athletes now do get to pick those different lanes and stuff. And obviously Adele, for her this year, this was her, like, she's competing everywhere. She's dominating. Winning double gold ADCC is incredible. Obviously, won the absolute, the lightest ADCC absolute champion ever, which is, I mean, an incredible feat.
Yeah.
The ladies she beat along the way is obviously an insane list. And then there's like Fionn, who's now like able to take those super fights, take the matches of kind of higher magnitude and everything, and do it that way for herself. Where obviously she competed against Mackenzie Dern at CJI, which is an insane match. Fionn Davis versus Mackenzie Dern, you know, came out and got the win there. So
Mackenzie, one of the all-time greats, you know.
Exactly,
of course,
yeah.
So big win for her there.
Yeah, so huge year in grappling overall. Huge year for female grappling, to be honest. So shout out to all the ladies out there holding it down for the female jiu-jitsu scene. But what else we got, Slack? We got match of the year.
Match of the year. We got Breakthrough Grappler.
Did we watch
here.
Breakthrough?
Yeah, let's pull up.
Let's watch Breakthrough. This is Sebastian Attard and Achilles right there off the rip. So obviously for Breakthrough, it's kind of like people who are able to like shatter that ceiling and kind of break into the next level of the sport, which definitely Achilles did. Owen Jones, I mean, dude, Owen Jones is one of the most hyped grapplers in the world right now, to be honest with you. Adele Fornerino, obviously we talked about her a lot. Got to include her as Breakthrough.
Daddy.
Felipe Costa came out, won trials, won ADCC bronze, won Nogi Worlds. Just a huge year for him overall. Cassio Mora is like one of the fastest tracks, not just black belt to like black belt and world champion, Nogi world champion. Michael Pixley obviously, you know, put the grappling universe on its head here with wins over Pixley and Trator. A lot of people forget that he submitted Trator first round.
ADCC silver medalist, Trator.
Yeah, so incredible year from Pixley. Incredible year from all of those grapplers, you know, but kind of Breakthrough, I guess, it's a little more of a subjective category, you know. It's not just about, like, did this person win all of the best events? It's more kind of, you know, like, did they kind of make their name? Are they now a household name in the grappling world? Which I feel like all of these grapplers kind of did that, you know, kind of have their own claims to why people are talking about them and everything.
Yeah, especially, you know, really one who kind of really stands out to me is Michael Pixley. You know, I think obviously we were very familiar with Michael Pixley, but I don't think the whole jiu-jitsu world was quite familiar with Michael Pixley. And, you know, after that weekend of ADCC, it was like pretty much the entire jiu-jitsu world knew Michael Pixley's name after that.
Sure.
So that was just like, in terms of kind of like biggest moments of the year and just like moments that put people on the map, that was definitely one of them.
He went from, like, I mean, not unknown, like you said, but like a deep cut guy that people know, like this dude's going to have crazy throws. He's going to have all this good submissions, you know, to main eventing against Nicky Rod kind of in the course of a year. So an incredible breakout there. I think kind of similar thing for Owen Jones. Owen Jones started in 2023 at Euro Trials whenever he won. And it was kind of like, I know we've talked about this before on this podcast, but if you haven't listened before or anything, the show originally we did the ADCC update show. And the first episode was really to talk about Owen Jones's Euro Trials win, because it was just electric. It was like, who is this kid out of the UK, you know, just kind of like flipping the grappling world on its head, making a huge name. So that's kind of one of the reasons this show came to be, and he's just like maintained that momentum throughout this whole year, submitting Gabriel Souza, submitting Gerbeg at ADCC Worlds. He ended up getting submitted by Diego Pato, but you know,
submitted Ash Williams, or no, beat Ash Williams.
Beat Ash Williams at Trials, right?
Yeah.
But just an incredible year. He went and competed at AIGA towards the end of the year. Had like went 3 for 3 on subs at AIGA. All incredible submissions. You know, that'll probably be on the long list for the best submissions of the year.
Dude, and he's still young in the game. Like that's crazy. Like
he's a brown belt.
I was gonna say
he just recently got his brown belt. I think he won trials as a purple belt and then got his brown belt.
So it's like, yeah, these guys, Pixley, Cassia Mora just got her black belt, of course, but, you know, a lot of these guys and girls, you know, just on that cusp of, like, you know, going from a colored belt to black belt world champions and stuff like that. So we still have to see that the best of Achilles Rocha is to come. The best of Owen Jones is still to come. Like, you know, all Pixley, the best is still to come of these people. So that's what's most exciting.
Dude, I don't know the exact. I wish Joe was here. I think Joe knows the exact timeline of Cassio Mora's like promotions and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Cassio Mora was competing at 2023 Nogi Worlds as a purple belt, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like within 1 year, not just to get promoted to brown then black, but to come back and win the black belt Nogi Worlds is such an incredible feat, dude. Winning a black belt world championship, whether it be in the gi, no gi, is something you can spend your entire career chasing and trying to do. And she didn't just do it in her rookie year, but she did it within like a year of just have being a purple belt. So incredible year from here as well.
And she got the black belt at Worlds, right?
In the gi world.
Yeah, gi world. She won brown belt. Okay, yeah.
She won. Then I was there right next to her when Bruno gave her the black belt.
That's nuts.
And then just a few months later,
Give her any advice or anything while you were there?
I just told her keep doing what you
Keep grinding.
I just
Keep working hard.
the work's already been done.
Very happy to be here.
But then just a couple months later, she's winning no-gi worlds at black belt. It's just like, and actually, full disclosure, like this is my first year working here. One of the first things I think I saw her at was Pans, and Corey was saying, watch Cassie Amora. And she was, I guess, a brown belt. And I was just like kind of keeping my camera on her and watching her just murk everybody.
Yeah.
He was like, she's one of the best that there is, period. And then to watch her just cruise through the rest of the year like that is just crazy.
For sure. So
Had a big one on Who's Number One as well.
Yep.
Big submission win there. So
yeah, so some super dope stuff from the Breakthrough Grappler of the Year nominees. But that leaves just one more category, right? Match of the Year. How do you rank these, Reed? What do you think is the most important awards you could win? How do you value something like becoming a Grappler of the Year versus like submission or Match of the Year?
Well, I mean, I feel like kind of all 8 of the Grapplers of the Year are all 16 of the Grapplers of the Year. Basically, like they kind of, their year's over. They got the medals, they got the belts, they got the crowns and everything like that. They definitely have, all the accolades already. And so I just feel like there is nothing sweeter than getting submission of the year, right? Like that is kind of badass to have the best submission of the entire year. I think, like I said, they all won their money and they all won their accolades and stuff like that. But submission of the year, that seems to me kind of like the sickest one. What do you think?
I kind of agree with you for sure. I think it is. If you like look back on your career, when it's all said and done, and you're kind of telling your little white belt grandkids and whatnot of all the things you've done, it is probably a really cool thing to be like, oh yeah, I was also the 2024 Grappler of the Year or whatever, But like when it really comes down to it, I agree with you. I think submission of the year is like, because all of these grapplers have incredible submissions that they've done this year. They've had incredible matches that they've done. But to be like, I had the sickest submission all year. But I would also put up their Match of the Year because it's like, everything's all about growing the sport right now. We're in this kind of like catalyst period in jiu-jitsu where it seems like that's like the hottest buzzword you could say is grow the sport nonstop. And obviously best matches grow the sport. So it's like whoever puts on the best matches is helping get more eyes, more people talking, more buzz all around. So to go out there and be an athlete who can put on a potential best match of the year, that is like not just a great thing for you, but it's a great thing for everybody involved. It's very entertaining. Honestly, like on a simple level, it's like some of the most fun stuff to watch is the best matches of the year. So I put best match up there pretty high as well.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to like find sick matches, find sick submissions. Like that's what we're all here for is to watch good matches and good submissions. So
that's what it's about. Let's roll the best matches of the year for 2024. Kicking off with Giancarlo versus J-Rod. I mean, this match was nuts.
ADCC final.
Yep. Kennedy Masael versus Fabricio Andre. This is the Pans final. Just a super back and forth kind of crazy match in the gi. Cade Ruotolo versus Andrew Tackett at CJI. I mean, that one speaks for itself. Everyone's been talking about that match, how nuts it was. Diogo versus Diego at ADCC Worlds in the final. Got Mayrum versus Roberto. This one might have been kind of, not on people's radar. This one happened in the Absolute Worlds, but just, back and forth match there. Daniel Sattler versus Fabiuri. This one kind of happened WNO25 later in the year. This one was just nonstop crazy stuff. Kind of more like Andrew versus Cade, to be honest. Just two dudes throwing caution to the wind and kind of unnecessarily getting into crazy positions, if I'm being honest. But like, thrilling the whole way through and through.
Yep, we got some highlights here of Daniel Sattler, Fabiuri, two guys that are that could be on the Breakthrough Grappler list as well, and two guys that we considered, just two guys who had big years. I feel like Daniel Sattler really kind of came onto everybody's radar this year, and Fabiuri definitely came onto my radar this year. I feel like maybe people were a little bit more hip to him than I was, but. Both these dudes just went at it. Super fun match through tables, of course. There you go.
Yeah.
Little WWE action in there.
There's always a little like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry I just threw you into that table. Like a moment after.
And then 10 seconds later, they're trying to do it again.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was backstage shooting and I couldn't see the mat, but this was the match where the crowd was just losing their minds like every 30 seconds. And I was like, what is going on out there for the whole match?
So another two guys that have bright futures in the sport here, both young black belts trying to make a name for themselves. I think, Fabieri ended up winning this match. So big feather in his cap, winning his Who's Number One debut. But can't wait to see more of these guys, to be honest.
For sure. And just electric in every match they're in, to be honest. Daniel had a couple submissions that could have been on the submission of the year list as well. So super huge year from these guys going back into the table. There's a moment in this where Daniel picks up a single leg and he kind of like just heists it super high. And then he like jumps into a leg entanglement from there. It's like, it's an insane movement. I don't know if it's in this little cut or if it already happened or not. It might be right here. Yeah, watch this. I mean, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen, to be honest. Like, rewind that a little bit. It's like, it honestly didn't end up working out for him. February takes the back off of it. But like, whenever you say just like doing kind of unnecessary, like awesome shit during a match, this is kind of that to a T. Like,
when I rewatch
I didn't know you were allowed to do this.
When I rewatch my rolls.
All right, so here's the entry.
Picks it up, and then he's just like, actually, I want to get in on your legs. And just flies into it.
Crazy. And like Fabieri just like, yep.
He's like,
and then I'll take the back.
Dude, Fabieri's just like, okay, sick. Yeah, I've been here before. Like, how have you been there before? Like, takes the back off this, and then Daniel just like guts this out. Like, imagine he does not tap to this. Like, mind-boggling.
Imagine having this dude choking you like that and not tapping.
I mean,
like a high-level black belt like Fabieri, just fully arm across the neck.
Yeah.
Man, he ate that and he didn't even have a mouth guard in.
Nah. Slack, big mouth guard guy.
Over here,
big mouth guard guy over there.
Somebody hit me at open mat with, you don't wear a mouth guard? What are you doing?
I bet that doesn't surprise you guys at all that I wear a mouth guard.
He just, hold on, go back a little bit.
I used to wear a mouth guard.
Daniel Sadler ends it with like the Magic Mike, like,
a backflip?
Yeah, a little, woo, okay. You guys know what I'm talking about. Come on. Oh, now nobody's seen Magic Mike all of a sudden. Oh, I'm the only one who watched Magic Mike XL, Magic Mike Double XL.
Like we don't watch Magic Mike every week.
Yeah. Oh, that is rich coming from you too. But yeah, no, I mean, that match was nuts, dude. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Super sick match. Obviously, all the matches on here are crazy.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Mayram there too. Mayram also had an incredible year. Also just like one of the funnest guys to watch in jiu-jitsu, so I feel like we just had to get a Mayram match in there. And of course, against a world-class guy like Roberto in the absolute division. I remember we were all kind of watching there, mat side at Worlds for that match. So two superstars going at it. Anytime you can get two superstars like Mayram and Roberto Jimenez, of course, all eyes are going to be on that match. But Mayram, man, if you're not watching Mayram, you got to tune into this dude's matches.
Some of the craziest movement in jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
Like when he gets going, dude, it's just like, whew, let me watch that back in slow-mo, just like to figure out what's going on. He's like one of those guys, like we've talked about this with Gabby Pisania, where it's just like, she's so good that it's confusing. Like, it's like, what are you doing that is like making it's so easy for you to do all this? But like when Mayram starts like outside passing people and just kind of moving a little bit, it's like, I don't know exactly what you're doing that makes it where no one can like retain guard against you, but he just like walks around. Like he just eventually will walk around and pass your guard. But also he had some crazy flying submissions as well. He had that flying armbar against Kleber Souza at BJJ Stars.
That's right.
Kind of end of the year here. So that was another pretty insane submission there. But
does Mayram do nogi?
I feel like Mayram is a guy who's always teased his no-gi debut, but I can't remember if he's done it. Maybe he's done like a BJJ Stars. I don't think so, to be honest. I think maybe he hasn't. I feel like every so often you hear like Mayram's going to do this no-gi event or that no-gi event. I mean, that'd be incredible. That's like the flip side of getting the Ruotolos back in the gi, competing in the gi a bunch, Mayram going into no-gi.
Yeah.
Gabby Pisania kind of staying in the no-gi lane now that she's kind of made her no-gi debut. It's like, that would be pretty epic, dude, watching these people dive into the no-gi world.
Mayram versus Cade Rotolo. Like that would be
Imagine.
such a sick match.
That'd be crazy.
Or no-gi, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like that's a dream match.
There's a dude. If Mayrum cracked into the no-gi scene, there's a lot of matches I feel like you could start thinking of that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like Mayrum and Fabricio have met a lot in the gi, with most recently Fabricio getting the better of Mayrum at that BJJ Stars Grand Prix. But like imagine that one no-gi.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, there's a bunch of good matches for him there too. Pato at no-gi as well would be sick.
Dante Leon.
Yeah, Dante. So
Who knows? What do you guys think Dante's going to do in 2025? We're going to see 155 Dante anymore? We're going to see 170 Dante? I feel like this guy.
hopefully we see a rich Dante probably in 2025.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's kicking.
Shout out.
He's ending 2024 on the right note to, continue down that path.
But what were some of the other matches there? we did-
Diogo and Pato.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give a shout out to both of them, honestly, because like Pato has had such a crazy year, and he was really like on track to win ADCC, and that would have just been crazy for him.
Because Pato in the first part of that match, Pato kind of dominating, right?
Pato was really putting it on Diogo at the beginning, and
He like mounts him and stuff, right? Like,
yeah, and he was just in on the legs a lot. Like, let's see, I've got it here. We can play some of it, but just like the context of this match was just so intense. I feel like for Diogo on the other end to come back from not just a loss against Pato, but like the kind of loss that can kind of like really transform your career when you have like a serious injury from it.
He leg locked him at who's
He leg locked him at who's number one, right? And so to come back from that and sit through all of these leg entanglements with him that they engaged in, but still then at the end find his way to pass and get to his submission, which is the arm triangle. It's just like such an incredible moment for Baby Shark.
And with the double knee pads on too. Like that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But
Shades of Majid Hage there, the volleyball. Dude, I've always thought, like, should I just start busting out the double volleyball knee pads at open mats and stuff? Can't bring myself to do it. I don't think I'm cool enough
No,
to
you
rock
can do
that.
it, bro. You can do it.
Okay, sick. I just needed one sort of little okay to go ahead.
You got it. But
Fast forward a little bit.
yeah, no, I totally agree. This is just one of the best matches at ADCC, hands down for sure. Just because like Pato was buzzsawing through everybody, just buzzsawed through Owen Jones right before this. Baby Shark had a little bit more of a subdued tournament, but I think everybody really thought that this was kind of Pato's time. Of course, AOJ guys are putting a lot of work for him to win ADCC.
And just shout out to Pato. We got to spend some time with Pato leading up to ADCC. We spent the day with him, and like he's just one of the nicest guys to be around, to spend time with, and
Not one of the nicest
he's
guys
just
to
a
roll
star,
with.
man. He's had such a huge year. Like it's just going to continue for him.
Yeah, Pato will break your leg, though.
So you gotta watch out. Watch out for that because he will break your
He's a
leg.
nice guy, but he will break your leg. But then, yeah, Diogo kind of finally turns the tide on this match and just doesn't let up. Here he is going
here,
into the arm
into the
triangle.
spot he wants. It's just crazy.
Oh, Diogo's a beast, dude. I saw all these dudes we're talking about are in at featherweight IBJJF Euros, bro.
Yeah.
As we gotta you gotta spend time taking a look back, looking at how we got here.
Dang.
But then, of course, the jiu-jitsu world doesn't stop, and we'll be back soon. And we're going to see Diogo Hayes, Diego Pato, Mayrum, I'm sure the Sodre brothers. I haven't checked for sure, but they're probably in the mix. Is Fabricio in? I don't know if Fabricio's in at Euros. But, yeah, all these dudes at featherweight, IBJJF Euros, it's going to be sick, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, that one was awesome. And then, I think you got to talk about Andrew Tackett versus Cade Rotolo as well, just a little bit, just because, like, two of the premier grapplers of 2024. Andrew had a little bit of a rocky year just because I feel like he was a little bit injured. So we didn't see as much of Andrew, but of course Andrew's just been having an electric 2, 3, 4 years basically this past couple years. So to see him kind of go out there and throw down against Cade Rotolo, that is just. Those are the two people you want to see fighting against each other, and I feel like you saw them at the right time, both of them kind of peaking at the right time, and that was an epic match for sure.
100%. Yeah, like you said, Andrew got a win against Tommy Langacker on WNO kind of earlier in the year, and then definitely was on the shelf a little bit.
Yeah.
That might have even been, I can't remember. I feel like he's had a lot of injury.
Yeah,
stuff
the
going on.
years blend together.
He won West Coast Trials, right, in 2024. Beat Tommy Langacker, had the match against Cade, but definitely a lot of intermittent kind of like, I know there was a lot of matches he was supposed to do on WNO.
Yeah.
It didn't pan out due to injury and everything, but yeah, two dudes that are, I mean, the crazy thing about Cade and Andrew as well is we could potentially see that match so many times by the end of their career. You know,
Yeah.
they're both so young, so exciting that I would honestly watch that match every event ever. That would be pretty dope. But so super sick.
I'm trying to
see those
remember.
dudes.
They fought. Was it
Purple or
yeah, Andrew. Was it Andrew versus Ty or Andrew versus Cade? I can't quite remember. I feel like it was probably Andrew versus Cade at ADCC trials back in 2018, 2019. I believe.
Can't remember.
That was. So this potentially was the rematch. I can't quite remember, but yeah, anytime you put Andrew Tackett and Cade Rotolo in a match against each other, I'm tuning in. I'll be there
for sure. All right. Anything else we gotta cover? Anything for the FloGrappling Awards?
I don't know. Definitely, cast your vote if you haven't casted your vote already, for sure. Definitely want to get as many votes as we can so the right person wins. If you watched it, or if you think we didn't nominate the right stuff, let us know too. Let us know if there's some better matches, better submissions out there that you think we might have missed. But yeah, other than that, FloGrappling Awards 2024, putting the year in the books, boys.
That's right. So make sure you guys go to FloGrappling.com. You should see stuff all over our website. Just scroll on the homepage. Don't try to search anything, to be honest. Just scroll down and you'll see like a vote now banner, and just click one of those. It'll have a link to the form if you haven't submitted your vote yet, or go to the FloGrappling Instagram. The link's in bio to go vote on the form right now. So make sure and cast your vote. Next week, I think voting will end basically sometime at the end of this week. So make sure, get your vote in. And then next week on the show, we're going to go through all of the winners, the official winners of the FloGrappling Awards. So make sure to get your vote in. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for watching another episode of the FloGrappling Awards. And we'll see you in the next one.